Hey, this is Ray Ray. I am your host of 2 Local Radio. Now, I'm not going to get into a comedy show like I normally do, or, I just finished the interview with the musician, and it's what I do. But the reason I'm doing this video is because Skype is a monster with Spreaker if you don't know what you're doing. I had me and a friend of mine who was in a band, work 5+ hours trying to get it to work right. See, the thing is, I watched the YouTube video on how to take calls with Skype using Spreaker. However, that method does not work. The problem is 2 things. Number 1, when you, even though you can put the mic to go in, as that video said, on the way back, you cannot put the speaker to go in because the caller, if the caller can hear you, and a lot of times the caller cannot hear you. We ran 50, 60 test calls. It was ridiculous the amount of test calls we did. Okay? And the caller could not hear me. Simple as that. I thought I had we thought we fixed it by amping and rewiring things so the sound is huge. However, all it did was create that annoying echo, kind of like when you use stereo mix. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. The problem is, on that video, I'm not sure the dude uses a USB mixer. And, there was a lot of setups we tried. We tried the stereo, cables into, the send. And if the mic makes a noise, I apologize. I'm walking around. But we tried both into the stereo aux returns, into the aux sends, into the left channel and the right channel, using the stereo wires. Unfortunately, I don't have an audio interface as well as a mixer, and I think that's absolutely pointless. The reason I think that's pointless is because it's a waste of money for somebody on a normal budget, especially if you have a family. To go out and buy an audio interface in addition to a mixer when you already have computers, to me, is pointless. Now, the first step, anyone that knows they use Skype, you have to buy a call-in number. It's a requirement. Not everybody uses Skype, and not everybody will be able to call in, by that method. So you have to spend the money for a call-in number, which that alone was a pain. Because for some reason, the Big M call center is overseas, and a lot of the credit card companies automatically deny, payment, and they call back, and I had I had the bank call back and say, well, is this a fraudulent charge, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But anyway, once you have your call-in number, which is the easiest way to do, get one of them Skype cards and then go on the Microsoft Store. That way it will actually work. Or use a card via a debit. If you don't trust the internet, then go get one of them prepaid cards at like a Walmart or something. And go on the actual Microsoft Store. But anyway, once you have that, I would recommend you getting something where you can dial outbound, because not every guest you have is going to want to call in. Some of them are going to want you to call them, and they're musicians or, stars of some sort, and they have that right. Or you lose out on, a great interview, which I don't lose out. So, but anyway, I have the plan where, it's unlimited, Canada and US. It's only a few bucks a month and whatnot. Plus, I, have a Skype number. But moving on. The issue at hand is this. The XLR cable that it shows, in the video that plugs into the mic input when you have a USB mixer, especially if you have one on a budget, it does not work. The sound quality is not there. The caller cannot hear you, or you cannot hear the caller. It's too low. It doesn't matter how you try to EQ it, it's still low. It's like you're trying to talk to somebody, but they're in a freaking elevator. So, after numerous, ways of trying to wire things, I found out the easiest way, without it wasting everyone's time, is to have a second computer. Because if you have that on the one computer, the thing with Skype is it's a resource hog. It likes to take control. What Skype likes to do is it likes to shut down every other process you're running. So if you run in Spreaker, it likes to lower the volume so it can hire itself. It's unreal, but if you don't want to use Blog Talk and you do want to use Spreaker, you have to have Skype on a different computer. If you have it on the same one, it's going to interfere somehow. Now, even though the method that I found is not perfect, there still is static issues. You still have to mess with your board to get things right. And it does take some fine-tuning. It works. Here's what you do. You get one of them female adapters. And you plug it in the XLR, port. Where you put, the mic and whatnot. I think it's called the XLR port. And you put it in a separate channel. Now, for those that only have a mixer with one channel, or able to have one mic, well, that's not going to work. But this is providing that you have more than one. My solution anyway. So anyway, now you use the female head adapter, not the male, like a mic, a female, and you connect it not to the mic area. If you connect that female head going to the mic, what is going to cause is huge echo, especially when you put the volume up. It will be huge. It will be annoyance. And then when you put another computer to it, forget about it. It's going to ringing out your ears and be like, ugh. But anyway. So you attach it into the headphone jack. And then the next step, there isn't a next step. That's it. It's as simple as that. But remember, use a different computer. You need a computer dedicated to Skype, just like when you transfer calls and you need that additional computer. But in that case, you would need 3 because you would need one to transfer calls to the other computer, because don't even try to put Skype on where Spreaker is, because it's just going to mess up your sound quality and it's going to make it sound like Blog Talk, and that's not why you go on Spreaker. The sound, with the lower end quality, and that's nothing against Blog Talk. I used Blog Talk for a long while, and it's a good service. It got a great, call-in service if you just want a basic thing. I'm not dogging Blog Talk. I'm just saying if you'd like the higher end quality, then, you can go with the Skype method. Excuse me. I'm awfully tired. But I'm sure it's been racking on people's brains. And that's just it. What happens is you don't need that extra cord. I automatically assumed, okay, well, in order to complete a circuit, you have to have something going in and then back out. But no, not with the USB mixer. The reason for it is the USB itself plugs into your computer, which brings out the sound, which will bring it out the Spreaker. And people can hear the songs that you play on your playlist, as well as the callers that you have in, and they don't sound like elevators. Like they're in an elevator or in an airplane tunnel. They're not the loudest. I'm not saying that they're going to be blaring like, going down the road and listening to the cars, blasting the bass and everything. But it is decent enough for people to hear it. And then if you podcast, all you have to do is go in a program like Audacity, which is free, and use the compressor, and you're good to go. All right, that's my fix. Like I said, it's not perfect. It does create static. You have to tune some things, but at least Skype will work. And at least you'll be able to hear the caller, and they'll be able to hear you. And it even works, with multiple, callers in your conference. And doesn't create that kind of feedback. Now, will I stay on Skype forever with Spreaker? No. I have another method I'm working on that may be better, providing that it works. I'll keep you all posted. But anybody with the USB mixer, now you know how to use it. And you're not rattling your brain like I was for almost a week. Thank you. This is Two Local Radio. I'm out.